time she actually spoke to me, in my head it was like, there's a cool girl talking to me, what's going on?
Oh.
It was lit. And I've said this to her, I was like, why is the cool person talking to me? This is scary.
Yeah.
And then like I kind of got into a little friendship group, but then I was like, why are the cool group talking to me? This is really unsettling.
Oh my goodness.
And I was like,
Oh, I know the answer to your question. Because you bribed them with sweets.
oh yes!
You bribed them?
Yeah.
Oh, I did that too. Now that I think about it, I totally did that too. In grade 8, I kid you not, this is a legitimate thing that I did. In grade 8, I went to MEI, which is like a Christian school, and it's like this whole thing. And like, I was like really, I want to say I feel like I was kind of bullied in grade 7. I don't know, bullied is a strong word though. I just think I was hanging out with people that weren't really interested in hanging out with me. And I was just, I didn't care about what they cared about. I was just finding I was in a lot of circles where I was like, oh, I don't jive really with you. And so I felt really on the outs. And so then when I was like transferring schools to go to high school, like grade 8 through 12, well, it was actually middle school, I was there and I was like, you know, pretty cautious, but I was trying so hard to be cool. Like, this is the best part because it's so uncool, but I'll tell you what I did anyway. I had fake nails. We're talking grade 8, okay?
What age?
Grade 8.
I don't know what grade 8 is.
Sorry. But I don't know what your school system is.
What,
Like 13.
Okay, so that would have been going to secondary, yeah.
First year, yeah.
And I had like what we call fat farm shoes, which were like skater shoes because I thought I was so cool. I'm not a skater, it's fine. And then I had like a shirt with like a white band that was like just one band of lace. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it was like those weird, like there was like a time when Avril Lavigne was like rocking her life and there was just like the one lace and it was mostly like whatever, it doesn't matter.
Can't relate.
And I can't relate. And I brought, because I don't know why, like I was in a grocery line like the summer before and I was like, oh, like there was this candy, it's called Icebreakers. And I was like, oh, this is cool. So I got the Icebreakers and I went and had my first day of school and like all these people.
I think I know where this is going.
All these people attacked me with just like kindness because like, and I didn't know how to receive that because the other school scenario I was in was just very cold and I wasn't really into it. And then I went to MEI and everybody's like, hi. And then I was just like, oh, candy? Like, I didn't know how to, and so then it became this thing throughout all of grade 8 where I had Icebreakers. And it's funny looking back because literally I actually think that was the point of the company, is they wanted to give you a way to break the ice with other people, legitimately. So, like, they intend you to have candy to hand out to other people. So it's hilarious because I did it. So anyway, I bribed friends too. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I would literally, like, we'd go out for lunch and people were like, oh, I have no money. I was like, I'll pay for it. Or like, I'd want to go for lunch and be like, want to go for lunch? And they're like, broke. I'm like, I've got some money, I'll buy lunch.
Yeah.
And then we went to Disneyland. And I got lollipops and I gave...
Disney Paris, mind you.
Paris,
Let's be clear.
Well, it's Disney World in California.
Yeah.
And I brought home lollipops and I was like...
Florida.
I didn't even have a lollipop because I gave them to my friends so they'd be my friends.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're so cute.
So I need to go back to Disneyland to get a nice lollipop. To get a lollipop.
Oh, so you gave away your only Disney lollipop to make a friend?
No, I had 5 of them and I gave them to 5 friends. One of them didn't even appreciate it. Didn't even like it. And I was so annoyed. I was like,
and that's why I don't buy my friends anything.
I was like, if you're not going to appreciate it, I was like, if you're not going to appreciate it, give it to me.
Yeah.
You have no idea how much I want this.
And see, I love that because that is such a minor, well, actually for Disney fans like us, a major, but I mean in the grand scale, like minor way in which I know your heart was so there to be loving and giving, and it just got trampled.
Yeah, I took it as a personal offense, I'm not going to lie.
But it's hard because I feel like this translates, like you start off with candy, and then it translates to, like, when you're older, like, these things feel more personal. Like, I think one of the things that I talked about on my podcast is, like, because I'm a dreamer and because I feel like one of my resources that I'm capable of giving is time and effort and energy into people. Like, we know my financial position. Everyone's aware of my financial position.
What's your financial position?
I ain't rolling in the dough. Like, it's never been that way. I went to Trinity.
Afterlife.
I went to Trinity freaking Western. It's a great school. That stuff is expensive. I worked multiple jobs the whole time. I prayed my way through that jazz. Other people paid for my career, and literally so did the government. So honestly, I don't have any money, and yet what I do have, though, is like...
You got love.
I like to listen to people and talk to people, and so I feel like one thing that happens to me quite frequently is people just tell me their deep stuff, which I think in the same way that you were saying to me, it's like, oh, someone's nice to me, like someone's engaging with me and thinks I'm worth talking to, they're obviously my friend. Well, it's the same in a way. It's like people will come to me with this like just crazy information about their life, and to the point where now I actually know them. Yeah. Like, really, I do. Like, you actually can't walk away from this and think that I just forgot. Like, I know all the things that happened to you, your deep secrets, the way you reacted to that, the moment that you were like...
Remind me to be careful around you.
Well, no, but it's just like, I say that because it's interesting. Like, of course I'm never going to hold that against anyone, but it's just funny, like, because there's a certain depth now that's just there. It's just there. And so you almost can't back up from that depth of friendship or whatever, or just knowing of someone, I guess.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because to me, that's like almost a connecting feature. Is like, I feel like, well, because I know what happened in their childhood, where they were born, like what makes them tick, because I know quote unquote information about them, we're friends.
Yeah. We
are friends because I know secrets about them that nobody else on the planet knows. We're friends. Actually, maybe not. Actually, what's interesting is like a friendship is reciprocal. So if you know everything about somebody and you love them and you do jive with them, but the only time they ever call you is when they need something,
friendship.
Or the only time that they sort of like reach out is when it's to do with them, and you know, I get it, like sometimes certain seasons are going to feel more like that depending on your circumstances, like depending on what's going on in your life, but you just start to realize patterns over time, and you go, wait, I actually don't know that means that we're really in a position where like I'm gaining from this. And it's hard because I think my heart too feels like if I am putting in something into a friendship and they're happy, then I am gaining.
Yeah.
Like, it's as simple as that because I've impacted them positively. Thing about that is, though, is I've wasted a lot of time on people who, because I think I say this in a very humble way, but I think because I have a natural ability to do that, because I can problem solve, and because I can kind of just, you know, whatever it is, like take care of stuff. Like when it's another person's life, I can just kind of like chop it all up and figure it out and organize it. And I have a very fight or flight mode that I can kind of, there's a huge emergency, I got it. I can do it. Like that's like kind of my gift and my specialty.
I've even said to you before that like there's something about talking to you, like it's just kind of therapeutic. It's like, okay, I've talked to Jen. I'm good.
Yeah.
Okay.
But see, and then like, but what I've also realized is, okay, so say that's a gift, and I believe it is, and it's something I'm very happy and grateful for. But then if I use it on people who just like, it's just kind of spinning in a circle, and it's like they take it, they don't listen to you, they do the same thing over again. They take it, they don't listen to you, they do the same thing over again, and it's just sort of circles down into this thing. And furthermore, not just that they don't listen to you, but they never really like come, how are you, Jen? Yeah. Like they never come back with it. Yeah. Then you start to go, wait a second, actually, like I have had this where some of my best friends, I could shout out Jody, because Jody's one of my solid people. Just love you, Jodes. Jodes will listen to this podcast.
Hey.
So she's one of like, she's the real MVP. You know what I'm saying? She's
one listener.
She's actually going to listen to this. But it's
sorry,
like,
Jody.
yeah,
I'm so sorry.
no, she loves you already. Don't worry about it.
No.
But I feel special.
Yeah, but it's like she's one of these people who's actually had to come to me. Hey, actually, you know what? Much love. I need you, because I'm so sometimes burnt out on these other people who like take from me but then never give back, whereas Jodes just totally gives back always. She's really, how you doing? Like always checking in. Like she's really there. And I realized like, hey, I'm actually like she's not like Jody's not a needy person. She's just not. She's not a needy person. She doesn't need me. She wants me. It's a very different thing. She doesn't need to have me because, that's everything's going to fall apart without you. It's not about that. It's that I actually just really like you, want to be around you because I love you because you're my best friend. You know what I mean? And so
I timed this very poorly.
Yeah, no worries.
You go.
Yeah. And so it's too much tea for Ciaran.
Yeah.
And so then what ends up happening, I think, is that, I just, like, I've spent so much time giving to these other kinds of friends that when it, like, that I've run out of room for somebody who, I'm not saying, like, I really love, like, I don't love the other people, but someone who I think actually is more deserving of my time and my attention. So what it's become is I've had to, like, what I like, my wording for it is, like, it's like a stewardship of my gifting, because I have to think to myself, how am I really gonna, let's say my friendship meter is like a bank account. How am I really spending that money? Am I investing in people that are not really investing in me? Particularly because I really am truly going after my dreams. Like, it's just as serious as it gets.
And you are doing awesome.
I love you. Thank you. But, like, seriously, like, I'm really trying to be an actor here. Like, I'm really
I've noticed by the English accent.
Yeah. So I'm doing a play where I have to have an English accent, and these two are just living for it right now. That's okay. But I really am, like, going after it. It's not something
You're not doing a half-assed. You're full on.
Yeah, it's not something I'm just talking about, like, oh, you know, one day I'm gonna, like, it's current. Like, I'm doing it now. And I need one thing, like I was saying to you before, and it ties into my podcast as well, this idea of asking for what you want and asking almost in friendships too for what you need. Just checking us out.
Just checking it out.
Yeah. Asking for what you need and realizing, like, look, like, I actually need some, like, support when it comes to, you know, like, my podcast, my music, my things like that I have online, like, you know, listening to it, for one. Simple step. Guys.
Hang on. Whoa. Hang on, what did I do at Starbucks today? What did I do at Starbucks today?
Okay.
Hang on, no, what was that?
Okay.
What was that?
Ciaran fixed Mark and the Magic's Spotify. So you know what? There's some love. There's some major love.
PR person.
We are your PRX.
No, and I'm totally, and you know what? Like, that's, like, one thing. But, like, you know, I have other friends, too, who, I mean, honestly, like, this is actually a good example. You guys live on the other side of the freaking world, and you have, in some ways, done more for me, practically, tangibly, to support me than some people who live in this town, who are, like, my, quote, friends. You know what I mean? And I want to be careful with my language, because I don't want it to start to sound transactional, like, oh, because I did this for you, like, you should do this for me. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying there's a certain level of love and respect and reciprocation, and unfortunately for a person like me, I can get burnt out into a place of resentment where I go, I know that I've done this and this and this and this, and it's not recognized and it's not seen. And it's not coming back. And if I know, like, we're not friends in that sense, it's more like almost like a mentorship. Like, I'm just going to give to you, and you're going to give back to me in, like, maybe, like, some friends, I feel like you are there for their deep stuff, and then they're there for your good time, which is fine, because you're like, whatever, that's the understanding. Like, we know that, like, it's just good times. Like, don't worry about it. Like, I'm not, yeah, like, you don't have to, like, hear all my crap, but you make me laugh, and so that's, even that's giving back. But there's some friends or whatever where it's like, you're giving to them, and it's just constant. It's just the same crap over and over and over again of, like, just, basically BS, where it's like, they don't text you unless they need you, they don't reciprocate, when you ask them to be at something, they're not there, it's like, oh, apparently I have lots of friends, but it's funny, where are they all right now? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you have those moments, I think, in life, and that's part of growing up and maturing, I guess, is like, you're just sort of standing there and you're looking around like, oh, interesting, because, like, part of it's me, because I maybe haven't reached out, like, part of it's on me to be like, actually, I need the help. So that's
you
one.
shouldn't have to reach out though to people. That's
well, I mean,
it's back and forth, because I do believe that we as adults have to, like, almost over communicate.
Yeah.
Because I think that there's a certain level of, like, we can't mind read. But I think that honestly, if you're intuitive enough too, on the other hand, you also can, and maybe this is unfortunately just me, where I can anticipate other people's needs, and not everyone has that. But I'm just like, honestly, if you see how busy I am, you see what's going on, and you're not interested, you don't want to reach out, like, that's fine, but then that's not really a friend, I don't think. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. So it's just, what do you guys think of it in terms of, like, what qualifies as, like, a friendship? You know?
Oof.
Yeah, Ciaran, you got so much to say on this subject, I know.
Well, see, the thing is, right, because I want to be careful, because, like, I don't want
to insult people.
Yeah, because you know what we were saying, like, coming off in texting as your tone of voice is so important.
Yeah.
Like, when you're texting, there is no tone of voice. So what
It's just words on the
what
screen.
you're trying to say is, like, kind of humor can be perceived as kind of, like, mean.
Yeah.
But I have that issue with actually speaking of what I want to say in my head, never sounds the same way, but I'm speaking out loud.
Yeah.
So I want to be very careful here.
Yeah. It's okay, we get your humor here, don't worry.
And
Well,
Anything
you
he
do,
says,
but
he
is
says
there
with
like
love.
is there like some, like, if my friends do listen to this, they probably won't, but I'll throw it up on my Instagram anyway, and sure, if they do,
I love
they do.
Ciaran so much.
Like, if they do, they do. But
Yeah.
like I see a friendship, right, as something that you all share things in common with. Like, you all have, like, a common love for kind of, like, each other and of. I want to say thing, but it's more like a love of a community. Like, you build a community with someone. That's kind of like a friendship. Like, what I do during the summer with the summer camp I do, during the summer we're a family. Because you spend so long together, you're a family for that week, you know? Whereas after the summer, sometimes things trickle down where it's like, okay, I didn't get to spend any time with you after summer. Like, sadly that happens, and you know.
Sure. Because
but-
schedules have changed.
Yeah, like, we're all we're all adults. Like, being a friend with someone when you're an adult is the worst thing ever. It's so much easier when you're in school.
Yeah.
Because you're literally with them all day,
I
Monday to
haven't seen
Friday.
Alana in a month.
Yeah, like,
A month.
like, so, but like,
Right, because
well, I
that forced literal environment,
Yeah.
like, where you're actually, you have to be together.
Yeah.
If you're fighting, fine, but you technically have to be in the same room, because now you're in this class together, or whatever, or camp, or work, or
But, like,
whatever. You're in that environment.
like, I see a friendship as kind of like a shared community. So, like, with any community, you know, as you're saying, like, there's a reciprocation. Like, I know if I'm having a really shit...
It's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine.
I really
If I'm having a really bad day,
Yeah.
you know, it's like, I can text literally anyone that I done the camp with, like, yo, what's up? Like, this year alone, I have developed, it's been a stressful year, but I've developed so many better relationships with people. Like, the people I've gotten to know over the past year, they are my friends 110%. I would consider them kind of like some of my best friends, you know, like, without a shred of doubt. The core, the mentor team of what I do during the summer, we are friends without, like, I'm saying without a doubt so often right now.
Yeah. But
But, like,
why? Because you
It's
share...
because we've spent nearly a year together, like, meeting up, communicating.
so
just-
you've practiced it.
Yeah, it's just like, we've spent so long together that, you know, and, like, we have jokes we have inside jokes with each other.
Yeah.
Like running over someone's heel, but that's a different thing.
That's a whole other thing.
That's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
Maybe that person will listen to it and they'll find it funny that I'm mentioning it. But like those are
the bonding experience
those are
is
like
deep.
those are essentially the people that if I'm ever down, I can text in a heartbeat, and if they're not in work, because we all work, we're all super busy. If they're not in work and they have a free moment, they'll text me back and they'll be like, yo, what's up? Like, you good? You know, and I'm the exact same way with them. And some of the people who I didn't even get to spend a lot of time with this summer, who I've only spent like the 2 weeks with spread out, I've developed a better bond with them, where some of them have like text me, because I put up on my Snapchat, right, ready salted. Do you have ready salted?
No.
Ready
Well,
salted
maybe.
crisps?
I don't think.
It's
Ready
like
salted crisps? That's
Chips.
chips. Yeah.
Right, I put up on my Snapchat being like, a ready salted crisp sandwich is the best. Ready salted ready salted are the best flavour. No, they're the best flavour. Right?
Okay.
And people who I haven't talked to in a while, or even people who I did talk to in a while, they were texting me about it, and I was like, you know what? This is the friendship.
Yeah.
It was like, I didn't have to like text them me like, yo, what do you think of ready salted crisps? It's just I put up my thought, and they went out their way to text me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I spent like nearly half a night talking to people about freaking crisps.
And you know what's interesting about that is, like, on the one hand, I kind of agree that it sort of can be a little bit deceptive environment-wise, because, okay, for example, here's what I mean by this. I did 4 years of university. I mean, I did 4 years of high school too, but I did 4 years of university that was what I would call trying time, just because you're literally financially, emotionally just strained.
Done.
You're done. And we're doing, on top of all that, theater, which you have to be like 100% present for at all times or it doesn't work. So it was really great. But like, we had a lot of like bonding experiences, and some people in the theater department, some people outside of those departments, but just on campus or whatever, that I love and I cherish. And some of those friendships are lifelong, and some of them have already sort of disappeared after. And it's surprised me who has kind of disappeared, because and you know, it's not to say again that I couldn't just call them and they probably would still pick up or whatever. It's not like there's no hate or anything. It's just, it's not like there was even a real falling out.
Yeah.
It's just schedule has changed, and you start to realize, was the depth of that friendship really there? On the other hand, like, so what I mean is, like, for, like, you know, these environments, like work, like you work together. I worked at Starbucks for almost 4 years, and the kind of bond you have when you work at freaking Starbucks, oh my gosh. Like, it's amazing. Like, if you've worked at Starbucks, you totally get it. It's just crazy the kind of customers and the stuff you have to deal with. But then outside of that, are you really friends? Hard to say, because again, these like environments make you feel like you are, but then you step outside and you're not sure. But on the other hand, what's interesting is sometimes some of the friends that I have had that are best friends outside of those environments, when I'm in a work environment with them, or like I guess any sort of environment where we're seeing each other quite often, those little funny things like freaking chips, like, are like straight. It's like almost like, because you know this bottom stuff, then the surfacey stuff becomes more fun to like talk about, in a way that you're just like, oh yeah, like I hate that thing, or I love that thing. Like, it is just random and out there, but you kind of like, again, it's like a community of people, like, that just, I don't know, you just inside jokes collectively find things funny or whatever it is, or just stupid stuff. It's not like, do you know what I'm sort of talking about? Like, there's like these interesting levels of like when you're in like a deeper environment with people, I don't know, and then you're in a kind of, I don't know. I don't know.
When you have the deeper level with somebody.
Yeah, then all this stuff becomes fun.
Yeah, you can have like literally stupid conversations that mean absolutely nothing.
And that's bonding. And that's more bonding in a way.
And sometimes
like
your best
fell in a river.
Like
we'll never forget that.
I didn't.
We have video evidence.
I kind of jumped into the river though.
Oh sure, you really jumped intentionally and scraped your knee.
I did. Okay, hang on. I didn't scrape my knee. I landed on my knee. My knee has no scrape on it. I scraped my ankle.
Okay, well.
My ankle has a scrape.
Okay.
I have a boo-boo.
Yeah. But the point is, but I think what you said that's really interesting, though, is just this idea of, like, you all, like, it is pretty equal. I don't like, I'm trying to get out of the terminology of like transactional talk, but that's kind of what it ultimately is.
I mean, a friendship kind of is transactional, though, isn't it? I think life is transactional.
You can't always be the giver.
No.
As bad as it sounds, sometimes you do have to be the taker. You have to be like, you can literally. I have friends I can just text and be like, I'm just drained right now. Like, I'm not there, and then they'll give me.
I text her. She sends me care packages from the other side of the freaking world.
You needed it.
It's fine.
But like, they can just be like, well, I have this energy to spare.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna give you a bit of extra love, and it's like, thank you.
Yeah.
So you're not really being a taker, but you're kind of being like, okay,
and you know
I
what's
have that little bit of
interesting?
extra that I need.
Yeah, because I think part of my issue, if I'm gonna be so blunt honest about it, and this is not, by the way, necessarily what Jesus was saying, but it's sort of like what the church has maybe passed down is like, because like, oh, in Christianity you're supposed to be like sort of self-sacrificial, like, you know, like there's no greater love than like a brother laying down his life for a friend, you know, and you can kind of take that down. Your life for me? Yeah, a brother, literally, hey? But you know...
Depends on what the circumstances are.
If I was going to fall in a river, would you fall in instead of me?
Because it happened.
So. I didn't fall in instead of her. She had no risk of falling into the river. I did, because I was stupid.
But the kind of the point of it is sort of like... I don't know, I just think in the church there's sort of this thing of like... you're supposed to give like unconditional love, but the thing is, actually, I'm not sure that scripture ever says that. I think that's maybe what like we take, but like really Jesus gives unconditional love, but like we're not perfect people, so like
Jesus did kind of come back from the dead.
Yeah.
So it's like if you give yourself unconditionally, you're not leaving any space for you. Like if you bear everyone else's crosses, your own cross is just going to collapse on you. Like, how are you meant to bear that?
Yeah, exactly. And I think there's a certain level of like, okay, like it talks about, so like Paul, I think says like, or maybe it's, I don't even know, but like bear each other's burdens. On the other hand, it also says love your neighbor as yourself. And it's like, oh, but if you don't love yourself, then you actually can't love your neighbor, which took me a while to grasp. And then it's like, well, like, but loving yourself sometimes means like you have to take that stuff for yourself and ask for what you want. What's up? We're still coming back full circle. But you have to ask for, I think maybe even more so too, like ask for what you need in terms of, like even within friendship, just say like straight up like, I need you to, like, I just need something from you.
Let's grab a coffee.
I need something from you. Yeah. And I need you to anticipate, like, I need you to freaking, like, reach, like, can you just, like, reach out to me sometimes, you know what I mean?
Give it a check-in.
And not because give it a check-in. I love that. Give it a check-in,
like,
friends.
I literally texted Kate the other day, and, like, I didn't have to say anything, I was just texting going, I miss you.
Yeah.
And that was literally the entire context. I was just like, just so you know, I'm thinking about you.
Yeah.
It's been a while. I miss you.
Yeah.
And like that was enough to kind of make her be like, okay, I miss you too. And then hearing that, I miss you too, is like friendship right there, love. And it kind of does fill you up a little bit. You don't need anything else. You don't literally need to be like, you don't need to actually send a care package, or you don't need to be like coffee right now. It's just like I'm thinking about you. I love you.
And you know what I actually believe?
That easy.
Yeah. Okay. Because that's what I was gonna say. It's like it shocks me how little I need.
Yeah.
In a way, like I make this big deal about it this whole podcast, but actually, like there's been times when somebody has just like done the smallest thing, and I'm like, oh my gosh, they're the best. Like instantly, it covers like a multitude of like of sins. You know what I mean? Like just I don't know what it is. It's just like sometimes you can build up. Yeah, I guess it is like a sort of resentment, but then like you say, if there's like one thing where it just shows any level of effort, you're like, okay, it's actually fine. You know what I mean? Yeah, so I don't know what that's about, but it's just interesting. Yeah. Have you ever had to break up with a friend? And if so, why?
Yes.
No.
Ciaran, no!
No, it's just they're like, I mean, I kind of drifted apart from friends. But like that, again, that's just based on the fact that we didn't have a chance to spend time together, so it's just there. And I'm not saying that we're not friends anymore, but it's just there like it's been a while since we communicated.
Yeah.
You know.
You still have that love, you know.
I wonder if it's different for guys and girls.
I don't.
Like,
I mean,
do you
girls,
feel like guys are a little bit like?
I mean, girls
is
tend
there
to have
confrontation with? Like, do you know what I mean?
Like I have no. The second confrontation comes to me, I'm just there like, you know what? I'm out. I'm like, yo, I'm putting up my arms. I'm stepping aside. You know what?
Really?
He's
But do
really done that
do you
before, yeah.
think confrontation is always negative?
It depends on the context in which it's put in.
Right, because
You know,
I would
like,
say confrontation can sometimes be
Yeah, like,
positive.
if it's-
like if it's
if
like,
it's
hey, like I
self-learning,
care about you, and
yeah.
this is like what I'm feeling.
Yeah, if it's self-learning, where it's like one of my friends come up to me like, yo, Ciaran, I disagree with your point here that you're like, maybe I was saying something, they're like, yo, Ciaran, I disagree with your point. Like, I don't like your stance on that. I'd be like, okay, let's talk about it. And maybe I'll change my mind on the stance, or maybe I'll just learn that I projected myself wrong.
Right.
But like, if it is kind of like a confrontation of kind of like coming from a bad place, I'm like, you know what, I'm putting my hands up, I'm surrendering, I'm backing down, I'm not dealing with this.
Yeah.
You do you, I'm gonna do me. We don't need to bring it any further. Like, what's the point of bringing it any further?
Huh.
You know? Like, if someone's coming at me with hate, like, I'm gonna get out of there. But like, if it's come from a place of where it's like learning, where it's like, okay, you know what, teach me something. Like, teach me why you feel this way. Then it's
Right,
good.
so if it's just fighting for the sake of fighting or drama, you're out. But if it's something where it's like you can actually gain from it.
Yeah, if it's something where it's like, okay, you know what, maybe I don't have all the knowledge that I think I have on this point. Teach me about it. You know?
Yeah.
Give me that growth.
Yeah.
Well, the reason I ask is because I know you said this, and actually it's really funny because when I really, really think about it, I would say I'm friends with many guys, and I would say probably 70%.
Oh yeah, did I even get to that point?
You're
No.
going to.
My point of like girls versus guys with friends.
Yeah, because I would say what I was gonna say is 70% of the guys that I'm friends with have told me it's easier for them to be friends with girls.
Oh yeah.
And I don't, and not every single one, but like many of my friends have said that. They're like, and I'm just curious why. Like, what do you think it is about guys? Because if so many guys feel that way, why aren't those guys friends with those guys? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what is that about?
Like, I don't know. But like, I'm mixing up my words here.
That's okay.
But like, the reason I'm friends with so many girls is because, you know what? Yeah, at the end of the day, I do kind of find them easier to talk to.
Okay.
Because I feel like with guys, and I know this isn't about like all guys, like, I know lots of fellas who aren't really into sports, but I feel like with guys, a lot of it kind of gravitates around kind of like sport kind of stuff.
Sports.
Like, some of the first conversations I've had with people are like, oh, who's your favourite football team? And it's like, United, I guess.
Yeah.
Like the friggin' only one I kind of know.
Yeah.
You know?
It's
like,
not really your interest.
No, so, but like, it's just the activities I do, the stuff I do in my life, attracts more women than it does men. Like, so there's a stronger woman presence, and obviously growing up with two sisters, you know, it's just kind of, women have just been kind of like who I communicated to with the most.
I know it's the same for Sean too. He's like always had like really good girlfriends, and like he's got some good guy friends too.
Yeah, so do I. But
it's just it's not as the first usually person.
I feel like some of it might even be toxic masculinity.
I was curious about that.
Where it's like, I can't really open up so much about how I'm feeling with a guy because we're men, we're meant to be burly and strong and
sports.
And not have feelings. We're meant to, if we're
Men
feeling
don't
low,
check
we're
in
meant to
with
go
each
to
other.
the pub, have a few drinks like men. Whereas with girls, it's like, oh, I'm feeling low, I'm gonna get my girlfriends around, we're gonna eat ice cream and watch a sappy movie.
Okay, one time.
Yeah,
but
it's
like,
true.
no, that's when, like, with women, it's kind of like feelings are more of an open thing, and like, is it because of toxic masculinity? Possibly. Again, I don't know a lot about the subject.
Yeah.
You know, it's just because I'm not like societally aware of everything.
I think what the term is supposed to be about is this idea that like there's this pressure on guys that you can't talk about anything of anything too
emotional, too
not
like
even just
heart-wrenching.
emotion, but anything that would show any kind of weakness or vulnerability in yourself.
But it's like, that's not really there with girls. So like I don't know if it's because I grew up with two sisters, but like I am very kind of like feely. I'm very kind of like I am kind of emotional. You know, like
he will literally come up and get random hugs.
Like if something's going on in my life, and it is really bringing me down, people in my life are really able to notice it. Like I had a time in my life, which I'm not going to go 100% into because it's extremely personal.
You know it.
Sorry.
He's already done.
Like someone who has known me a really, really long time, and I was putting on this toxic masculine front of, it wasn't really toxic masculine front. It was more of, because of the location I was in, I was trying to stay positive and I was trying to give my all to the situation and not let outside things bother me. Mm-hmm. But someone who I've known literally since like childhood came up to me, asked me was I okay, and I was like, yeah, I am. And they were like, no, you're not. Mm-hmm. You know, even the other week, on a week of camp, I was overwhelmed and I stepped outside for a while because I was like, I need to be alone, I need to gather myself, because in the situation I did have, in the situation that I was in on camp, you do have to give your all, because it's not about you in that moment. Like,
totally.
It's about the kids.
Yeah.
So it was like, you know what, if I can't be 100% present with the kids right now, I need to step outside and I need to deal with the internals before I can go into that.
Yeah.
So I left, and one of my friends came out, one of my guy friends, just so like people can understand that I am open with everyone. It's not like, I put on masculine front, and also just so people can know that it's cool to frickin' talk about your feelings to other guys. Yeah. It's not a big deal. We all have them. Yeah. You know, it's frickin' your brain. Yeah. Unless you're a sociopath.
Yeah, in that case, screw you.
In that case, I mean...
They can't help it, Jen.
They can't help it, man.
I'm sorry. Wow, like, judged.
Any sociopaths here, you're love and support, even if you don't
he came out to me when I was sitting on a bench, feeling really low, and he was like, are you okay? And me trying to be positive, I was like, yeah, I'm fine. But the moment I said that, I was like, why am I saying I'm fine? Because it's going to do more harm. So I said to him, I was like, that's BS. Yeah. I'm not okay right now. Yeah. So we hashed everything out, and like that was really pure for me, because it was like, wow, I'm talking about my feelings to a guy. Now, to be fair, I know full well that all my guy friends I can talk about my feelings with, but that, like, for the first while of my life, like when I was in secondary school, because I went to an all boys secondary school. You know, so there is kind of like that whole... Oh, interesting. You have...
Especially the one you went to.
Yeah, especially the one I kind of went to. That was kind of seeing of like the kind of like tougher schools. Yeah. So, you know, like there was that kind of like, you have to put on masculine front. So it was kind of just there like, women to me were always just kind of like, they're my emotional release. Yeah. Because I can like open up about everything I'm feeling. Mm-hmm. I got you. Because like I didn't really have many kind of like, I didn't see any of my guy friends in that time period. I do now, obviously, but in that time period, I didn't really see any of them as people I can 100% open up to about my feelings. Because it's like, I'm a guy, they're a guy. We don't really do that. We hit the pub. Even though I was too young to hit the pub at the time.
Yeah, too young to hit the pub, and yet we hit the pub.
But no, that's just the thing of it, you know.
Saying.
So
no, I totally get that. And it takes, I think, a certain amount of bravery to be like, I love that you actually thought to yourself, sorry, hold on, no, I'm not fine, actually. I was going to say I was because of habit, you know, but like, I'm not. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just like, and what's weird is I find myself second guessing that in moments, well, not second guessing like, oh, I should have kept on the front, but like, I find myself guessing like, if it was a girl that came out, would I have straight up just said that you I said I wasn't fine?
Yeah,
interesting. But remember with me, I don't know if it's because I was your sister, but when you were going through that hard time.
Oh, that, yeah.
Yeah, you literally... Well, I don't want to embarrass him, but he did genuinely fight
that was a lot because you were my sister, and I knew whatever I said to you was said in 100% confidence.
Yeah, but also there's nothing like a sibling relationship.
I know.
Sean, you have to understand. Sean knows stuff about me that none of y'all know.
Oh,
nobody can ever.
We got stuff on each other. We got stuff.
Like Sean knows stuff about me that's next level. Sean has seen me. He one time I was mad at him. One time I got mad at him for not, I don't know, because I'm so stupid sometimes. I was like, yo, Sean, like, I, like on one of our vacations, I was like, I made the highlight reel for, like, our story. Like, you should watch it. Like, you haven't watched it. He's like, Jen, I live your highlight reel. He's like, I don't need to see it again. I was there. I took the footage. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry, whatever. But it's, like, so true. It's like he has seen, like, every moment. And, like, yeah, there's something about a sibling relationship where no one can understand the context of what you grew up with other than your sibling.
Yeah, like they know you literally inside and out. Like they can see the moments.
Especially with close relationships. Like you guys are really close the way Sean and I are really close. Yes. But not every sibling, I guess, is. But for us, like, we really, all four of us, I know, really are. But it's like, yeah, it's
I love how your mother said, like, it's just like we adopted 2 more kids.
Yeah.
I know.
I mean,
we're
crashing in your house, we're eating all your food.
You're just all sitting there with Buddy, like, just eating stuff, eating crisps.
Yeah.
Well, she was eating crisps. I was having, like, freaking roast.
Yes. I had roast too. It was really good, but I just ate too many mashed potatoes and gravy. It was really good gravy.
Well, on that moment of being adopted, I think we should probably end the podcast, even though I'd talk for hours, but just because it's been long.
It's bad luck to choose an empty glass.
Yeah, it's not empty though. I never finished tea.
I have a few drops. Shoot, I didn't know that or luck of the Irish thing, guys. I didn't know.
It's okay. Look, I'm lucky. I'll rub your arm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I have to say this every time because I think it's really important to say this. Don't quit your daydream. But seriously, okay. Listen.
Listening.
If you have something on your heart that you feel like you should do, you probably should. It's just that simple.
Yeah,
I feel like a lot of people, fear-based. My parents said this thing one time. My friends won't think it's cool. I don't have enough friends to do it. I don't have the resources to do it. If you want to do something, do it.
Go for it.
Go for it. Why not? Don't quit. Why not?
You're holding yourself back.
And furthermore, in friends, and let's tie it all together. It's really a matter of loving yourself enough to actually do what you were created to do or born to do. Like, don't pull Jack away from the children. Jack is meant to love on people. This is what Jaclyn does. Seriously.
Although I really am enjoying my time away from them.
Okay, yes.
But
a good break is necessary.
I miss them. I do miss them.
But it's like, if you're supposed to do something, hey. And to my friends who are starting to do auditions or they're writing their scripts, I'm so proud of you. Or for anyone who's listening and they're like, I'm getting my creative stuff happening, I'm so proud of you. Or if you're into like other things, like whatever, sports or whatever it is, and you're rocking it out. Sports. Okay, I'm sorry because we've offended you entirely. It's fine.
Video
but
games.
You know, like I have, or sure, whatever it is. If you're passionate and you're going after something that seems a bit like obscure, it's not like the normal path, I got you. You're not alone.
Remember, there's a kid that won a Fortnite championship now and he got lots of monies.
He got bank money.
I'll also just say the nerds are honestly taking over the world. I'm not gonna lie. Financially, programming wise, programmer over here, like it's just straight up like they're taking over the world.
Programmers, aka professional criers.
Yeah, crying over how it's not working. Don't quit your daydream. We love you guys so much. Thank you, Jack and Ciaran.
Thank you for letting us live in your house.
For being here.
I was going to say thanks for having us, but like, I mean, we're crashing your house.
But I kind of had to have you.
I'm going to go sleep like right there in 5 minutes.
Yes, love you. Bye. Thanks, guys.
Slow and last.